Imagine this. Warren Buffett is 94 years old. He doesn't need to work anymore. He chooses to. The man has enough wealth to buy small nations, yet he still spends mornings digging into financial reports like he's just starting out. Elon Musk has enough money to live in luxury for 10 lifetimes. Instead, he's clocking 14-hour shifts trying to colonize Mars. Meanwhile, your neighbor Jim spent 40 years counting the days until retirement. Now he's 3 years in, sitting at his kitchen table with thousand-piece puzzles, wondering why the golden years feel dull and empty. Here's what they don't tell you in retirement planning seminars. The wealthy don't stop working after 50. They figured out something about money, freedom, and purpose that flips the script most Americans blindly follow. And once you see it, retirement won't look the same again. What if your most profitable, most fulfilling years are actually ahead of you, not behind you? Let's start with a harsh reality check. The retirement fairy tale. We've all heard the same story since childhood. Work 40 years, save as much as possible, retire at 65, then finally enjoy life. That plan made sense in 1955. People retired at 65 and usually passed away by 70. Pensions were reliable. Healthcare didn't cost more than a house payment. But that world is gone. Most people are still following a roadmap to a place that doesn't even exist anymore. Here are the 3 broken assumptions that quietly ruin retirement for millions of Americans. Assumption 1. Your expenses magically go down in retirement. Retirement brochures show smiling couples on beaches, implying you'll spend less when you stop working. Reality check. Fidelity says the average retired couple needs over $315,000 just for healthcare. That doesn't include inflation, travel, or helping adult children. The truth? Expenses often rise, especially early on. You've got more free time to spend money, more health challenges, and decades of inflation hiking costs. Assumption 2, Social Security and savings will cover you for 30 years. The average Social Security check is about $1,900 monthly, around $22,800 a year. That's not even enough for rent in many cities. And if you're banking on your savings lasting decades while inflation eats away and markets crash, that's not a strategy. That's a gamble. Assumption 3, doing nothing will make you happy. People picture retirement as a lifelong vacation, but studies tell a darker truth. A 2023 survey found depression rises 40% in the first 2 years of retirement. Take away purpose and identity, and you remove more than income. You remove the reason to wake up in the morning. And here's the paradox. While the middle class desperately saves in order to quit working, the wealthy are doing the opposite. They're not retiring. They're redesigning their lives to gain freedom, impact, and control. Does retirement look a little different to you now? If so, drop a mind blown in the comments. The second big idea, what wealthy people actually do after 50. They don't retire, they reinvent. While the average person is planning their exit, the wealthy are designing their second act, one that's often more lucrative and more meaningful than anything they did before. Here's what they know. The goal isn't to escape work, it's to escape draining work. There's a massive difference between working because you have to and working because you choose to. 3 guiding principles make this possible. Principle 1, transition assets, don't just accumulate them. In their 30s and 40s, the wealthy gather assets, real estate, businesses, investments. After 50, the game changes. They shift to converting those assets into income without constant effort. That might mean selling a business, but staying on as a paid advisor, moving from active property management to passive real estate syndications, or licensing intellectual property instead of trading time for dollars. Take a marketing consultant I know. For 20 years, he worked 60-hour weeks making $200,000. At 55, he stopped taking new clients and started licensing his systems to younger consultants. Now he makes $180,000 but only works 15 hours a week. He didn't stop working. He stopped trading hours for money. Principle 2, purpose-driven productivity. Wealthy people often become more productive after 50. The difference is they're no longer chasing survival. They're chasing purpose. Without financial stress, work becomes energizing. Retired CEOs don't stop making decisions. They join boards, Entrepreneurs don't stop building, they fund startups. Lawyers don't quit practicing, they teach or start foundations. Look at Ray Kroc. He didn't start McDonald's until 52. His most impactful years came after the age when most people check out. Why? Because he wasn't working for money anymore. He was working from freedom. Principle 3, the compound wisdom effect. By 50 plus, wealthy people possess something more valuable than cash: decades of experience, networks, and judgment. Warren Buffett made over 90% of his wealth after 65. Why? Because compound wisdom beats compound interest. He had the experience to stay calm during panics, to spot value others missed, and to think long-term while others obsessed over the quarter. I know a retired manufacturing exec who spent 30 years learning efficiency. Instead of golfing, he now consults private equity firms, helping them improve factories. He earns more now in his 60s than he did as an executive, working only on projects he finds meaningful. The wealthy know this: your 50s and beyond are not the end of your earning power. They can be the beginning of your richest decades. The third challenge: breaking free from middle-class thinking. You might be asking, that's fine for the rich, but what about the rest of us? Here's the problem. The traditional retirement model isn't just outdated, it's one of the main reasons many people never build wealth at all. Think logically. You spend 40 years gaining skills, networks, and expertise. Just as you hit peak value, the system tells you to stop, to step away. That's like training 20 years for a marathon, then sitting down at mile 21 because someone said you're supposed to be tired. Middle-class thinking whispers lie. You've done enough. Play it safe. Live small. Shrink your goals. Wealthy thinking rejects that. They know your 50s and 60s aren't about winding down. They're prime time. By then, you've got capital, connections, and the power of choice. Traditional retirement is about withdrawing. Wealthy people focus on activating everything they build into more freedom, more income, and more meaning. Have you ever felt that pull between what society says you should do at your age and what you still want to achieve? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes sharing them helps us break free of the script together. The fourth strategy: the real path to financial freedom. If old school retirement doesn't work, what's the alternative? Real freedom. Not the TV commercial version with white sand beaches, but genuine options. The option to work or not, to walk away from what drains you, to say yes to projects that excite you. Here's what wealthy people know. Freedom isn't about quitting. It's about building systems that produce income, whether you're involved or not. Step 1. Redefine retirement. Stop tying it to an age. Retirement isn't 65. It's the moment your assets and income cover your lifestyle. That could be 45, 55, 75, or never. The point isn't age, it's ownership. Owning cash-flowing assets, systems that scale, or expertise others will pay for. Take a teacher I know. At 48, she realized she didn't want to wait 17 years for retirement. Instead, she built online courses for educators. Within 3 years, her courses made more than her teaching salary. By 52, she had freedom, not by leaving education, but by scaling her impact beyond one classroom. Step 2. Monetize your wisdom. By your 50s, you've got deep experience others don't. That's capital. Wealthy people turn it into consulting, board roles, advisory fees, royalties, investments. You get paid not for effort anymore, but for knowing how to shortcut problems. Ask yourself, what do you know that others struggle with? What mistakes could you help them avoid? What systems could you license? Your knowledge appreciates with age, unlike physical energy. Step 3. Build optionality. The wealthy don't just chase wealth, they build options. Multiple income streams, location independence, systems that don't collapse if one source fails. Think of it like a portfolio life. Rental income here, dividends there, consulting fees, royalties, maybe a side business run by others. If one dries up, the rest keep flowing, and you don't need millions to start. You just need systems and a mindset shift from accumulation to activation. The fifth insight: the compound life effect. Here's the hidden advantage wealthy people see. Life compounds just like money does. At 50, you're not behind. You're finally holding all the ingredients. Proven skills, strong networks, solid reputation, tested judgment. The sixth blueprint, the action plan. If you're wondering what to actually do, here's the framework wealthy people follow. In your 40s, transition decade. Move from pure accumulation into building systems. Develop expertise others will pay for. Start side businesses, consulting, or licensing. Say no to time for money work that doesn't build long-term value. In your 50s, optimization decade. Identify your most valuable skills, networks, and knowledge. Restructure assets for passive income. Transition into advisory or consulting work. Build your second career around your expertise. In your 60s and beyond, purpose decade. Re-engage not to stay busy, but to stay impactful. Use wisdom as leverage. Mentor, invest, teach, start ventures. Work becomes optional, chosen, and deeply fulfilling. When asked when they'll retire, wealthy people say, "I'm not retiring. I'm choosing what to do, when to do it, and who to do it with." So let me ask you, what's one skill or insight you've gained that you could monetize differently right now? Share it in the comments. You might inspire someone else. Because now you see, retirement isn't about age. It's about freedom. The wealthy don't waste their 50s and 60s downsizing. They activate everything they've built to reach their most profitable, meaningful stage of life. So how do you rate this perspective? 1 to 10, drop your score below. And remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.